400 plus years on atrocious acts. We suffer PTSD throughout our generations from the trauma and war crimes committed against us. We still being lynched. We still being hunted. We still oppressed. Kissing our boots and the least you devils can do. Gotta watch my step, cause our enemies cower the creep. And they hunt us when we go on the streets, full of lies and deceit. See the beast trying to devour the sheep. Wicked devils love the prey of the weak. So you gotta be wise and see the lies of their philosophies. Living out these biblical prophecies. They press their knees on the dying man. We went from chains to prison, and from the pot to a frying pan. At the border, families torn apart. These crackers gotta suffer. Lord, forgive me for my they hung us while they took our ladies to rape. They turned around and used our babies for bait. Can't think straight. How much more is gonna take? They evil crime justify the hate. Maybe that's the proof. I thank the Lord for this truth. I tell these crackers this what they can do. Devil kiss our boots. Do what the scriptures say to do. So my people know these prophecies are true. Devil kiss our boots. And show what act of humility from 100 plus years of captivity. Kiss our boots. For all the pain and oppression, for all the lies and deception, that will kiss our boots. Get on your knees and your hands and lift up the dust, you understand? Hey yo, I don't think they understand. We YAHANNA, prince of the power, mic in my hand. These heathen nations, they gon' serve us and bow down. In Texas, we gon' milk these Gentiles, it's cow down. Israelites gon' take the kingdom, Esau in trouble too. You quick to say it to my brother, we gon' be lords over you. You a liar and a thief, you gon' have to pay for that. You a dog, get on all fours, you a snake a rat. You gon' learn follow orders from these crucial prophets. Righteousness gon' cover that birthday cake, no devil stop it. You say you sorry, but I ain't got nothing to say to you. Till you apologize the way the Bible tell you to. And I don't give a damn about your little children. All the love I got go to my nation that we build in. The sons of the afflicted, the state gon' bend to me and I hate bow down before the children stand. Doesn't kiss our boots. Do what the scriptures say to do. So my people know these prophecies are true. Devil kiss our boots. And show what act of humility from 100 plus years of captivity. Kiss our boots. For all the pain and oppression, for all the lies and deception, they will kiss our boots. Get on your knees and your hands and lift up the dust, you understand? This place of dignity is something the people purpose and the demons are lurking. I see my people hurting. I pray the Lord send the evils and curses and cut our enemies no slack. With no remorse, they shoot us in our back. We in the midst of snares, don't dare make any fault. And forget about the lies that you were taught. We never regard for the old, nor show favor for our youth. These niggas using us for talking practice like we do the proof. Committing mass genocide, or they throw us on the cages to the neighborhoods and gentrify. Prepare slaughter for their crimes, it's a death offense and vengeance is the Lord. They for sure get their recompense. Here is the patience and the faith. They evil crime justify the hate. Maybe that's the proof. I thank the Lord for this truth. I tell these crackers this what they can do. Devil kiss our boots. Do what the scriptures say and do. So my people know these prophecies are true. Devil kiss our boots. And show what act of humility from 100 plus years of captivity. Kiss our boots. For all the pain and oppression, for all the lies and deception, devil kiss our boots. Get on your knees and your hands and lift up the dust, you understand? Devil kiss our boots.
All right, clap it up. All right, Shalom, Israel. This is Israelite School and Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And we are led by the amazing Commanding General YAHANNA. This is I.S.U.P.K Tuesday, Houston, Tuesday, Brotherhood class. So we're going to get into a topic that's very mandatory to get into as far as bringing this kingdom back together, bringing his nations back together under the Most High in Christ. And that's reconnecting the two sticks. You know what I'm saying? You know, the kingdom won't come unless these two sticks are reconnected. I'm gonna show you, you know, through the scriptures and a couple things on how and why, you know, these two sticks got separated from the beginning, which I'm referring to, you know, the the nation or the kingdom of Israel. How these two kingdoms, were separate into the northern and southern kingdom from the first hand. Because it was a time, when the kingdom of Israel was all one. It was no division. There was no divergence or anything like that. All right. But due to, a man, disobeying the Most High, the kingdom was severed. All right. And so I'm gonna get into some, probably some current topics, that are related to today's time, and also, in biblical times also. So first, everybody understand that the children of Israel are compiled of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All right. And the kingdom was split into, two different sides. The southern kingdom is considered, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and the northern kingdom was considered, all the rest of the tribes, Manasseh, Ephraim, Zabalawan, Asher, and Naphtali, all the other 10 tribes. All right. So understanding that the 10 tribes pretty much make up the Hispanic portion of the nation. You know what I'm saying? Most of those 10 tribes, like Isupk, we understand and we know that is the nation that is so-called the Mexicans. Ephraim is so-called the Puerto Ricans. All right, Judah is so-called the blacks. So like in today's time now, it's a rift between blacks and Hispanics. For the most part, we get along, but then there's still a little gap that separates us from being a nation. And I'm gonna show you the reason for that too. And one thing that we have to do, we have to get back to being one nation again, because colorism and all these other devices was not in our nation until our oppressors or our enemies put these things in place. All right. So first, I'm going to show you one of the reasons why the kingdom was split. So we're going to go to 1 Kings chapter 11 and start at 1, verse 1. Everybody knows about King Solomon. King Solomon was the most wisest king we've had and the richest. You know what I'm saying? But even him, at a time, fell short of following what the Most High said, and pretty much was an end result of the kingdom falling. All right, so we're gonna show you why. All right. If you can get it in your Bible, you have to get it quick. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That page is 2 hours.
All right, double time.
Gotcha.
All right. Why he's getting that? Like I said, King Solomon, he was one of the most wisest and richest kings of Israel, because one, he didn't pray for riches and notoriety from people. Like he prayed to the Most High to get understanding and discernment on how to lead and judge the people of God. And so in return, the Most High recognized that he prayed not only for himself, but he prayed for other people. So that was commendable in King Solomon, for King Solomon to do in the Most High's eyes. So the Most High, granted his wishes, and on top of that, he gave him riches and wisdom, like the most wisest person on the earth. And the Lord said it was nobody that was gonna be wiser than him after that. All right. So if you got that already, go ahead.
11 verse what, sir?
11 verse 1.
Okay. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women.
King Solomon what?
Loved many strange women.
He loved many, what women?
Strange women.
All right, so King Solomon loved many strange women. Keep going.
Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites.
All right, so King Solomon, everybody know that he had, 700 wives, 300 concubines, vice versa, however it went. He had 1,000 women. All right, and it says the key word is strange. It says he loved strange women. You know what I'm saying? In verse 2, go ahead.
Verse 2. Of the nations concerning which the Lord had said unto the children of Israel, yea.
All right, now stop. Now, it says the children of Israel. Now, Solomon is a child of Israel. So this, even though he's the wisest king, most richest king, these standards still apply to him. So that means it don't matter how rich or how prestigious you are. You know what I'm saying? The Most High has no respect of person. All right, so you still have to take heed to his commandments, his laws and statutes. All right, go ahead.
Ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you.
All right, so that's one of the laws, correct? You know what I'm saying? Interracial marriage is against the Most High's law. We shouldn't marry strange women, and we shouldn't go into them. They shouldn't come into us. That is the law. You know what I'm saying? But even the most prestigious person, that we read about fell victims to this law. All right. Go ahead.
For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods.
Because for surely, it don't say maybe. It says for surely they're gonna what?
Turn away your heart away from their gods, like after their gods.
So surely they're gonna turn your heart into following their gods. So the Most High didn't say he couldn't have 1,000 wives. That's not the issue. The issue was them being strange from other nations that he told us to not marry. All right. So Solomon did this. And so drop down to just drop down to verse 4.
Oh God. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 4. It came to pass, for it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods.
Right. So when he got older, you know what I'm saying? He started, building temples for his wives, and their customs. So, if you married a Moabite or as a so-called Chinese woman, yeah, eventually you're gonna make you a statue of Buddha or something. You're gonna build her a statue of Buddha or whatever type of temple or whatever that she goes to worship, and you're gonna go there to appease your wife. Just like in today's time, you may not be a hookah smoker, but the female that you're dating right now, like she loves going to hookah bars. Smoking hookahs is not an Israelite custom. That is a Hindu custom. We aren't supposed to smoke anything anyway. All right, so you get this woman and she go to the hookah bar with me, baby. Let's smoke this hookah together. So all right, baby, let's go. You go to the hookah lounge and you smoke and you participate in a Hindu custom. You think it's harmless fun. You got the DJ there, you got drinks there, everybody's dancing, having fun, and you sucking on this hookah. You think it's harmless fun. But the real of it, you're practicing a Hindu custom by smoking on a hookah. All right. So now you've disobeyed the Most High's commandments. All right. Now drop down to verse 11. We're gonna, of course, we understand that, he built all these temples for his wives, and all things like that. So now we're gonna get to the part to where, what the Most High is gonna do to him. All right, go ahead.
Okay, this is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 11. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee.
Okay, so because he did this thing, the most wisest person on the earth at the time sinned against the Most High, he's going to take the kingdom from him. This is when the kingdom is going to start to split. All right, he's going to take the kingship away from him. All right, now this is one man's sin, and the nation is going to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep that in mind. All right, keep going to 12.
And will give it to thy servant.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 12. Notwithstanding, in thy days, I will not do it for David thy father's sake.
Because his father was so devout to him, he's not going to take the entire kingdom from him. Go ahead.
But I will rend it out of the hand of thy son.
So I'm not gonna take the kingdom from him while you alive. I'm gonna, when you die, your inheritance, your son, I'm gonna take it from him. So keep in mind, all 12 tribes are one nation at the time of King Solomon. Like we all one nation. We not no northern kingdom. We not no southern kingdom. We all one nation. All right. The Lord was in our favor at this time, but then when Solomon disobeyed, judgment comes. All right. Keep going.
Verse 13. Howbeit I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen.
Right. So he said he's gonna let him keep one tribe. All right. Drop down to verse 20. We're gonna start at one second, because we're gonna be back and forth in 1 Kings chapter 11 for a while. I'm trying to find when Solomon died. That's yours or mine? Okay, that's yours. All right. Give me good.
That's it right there.
What's that?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Good, sir.
All right. All right. So the kingdom was gonna be taken from Solomon, but the split didn't happen until his son. His son was Rehoboam. All right. And when Rehoboam came to be the king. Oh, here you go. I found it. All right, go to 1 Kings 12 and 1.
Come. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 1.
All right, so what's going on? Solomon has died, so now his son, has came about, to take over the kingdom. All right. So keep in mind, all these tribes are together. All right. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 1. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come out of Shechem. It's like come to Shechem to make him king. Verse 2.
All right, Salakia. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 2. And it came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nabat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of the king Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt.
All right, so Jeroboam is an Ephraimite. Now, it was a prophet that came to Jeroboam, before Solomon died, and told him that he's going to be the king of Israel. All right, so that's what's prophesied in chapter 11. I'm trying to find. Let's see. Go back to 1 Kings 11.
Okay.
And start at verse 29. I found it. Salakia, y'all.
Okay. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 29. And it came to pass that time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem, that the prophet Ahijah, the Shilonite, found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment. And they two were alone in the field.
Keep going.
Verse 30. And Ahijah caught a new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 30. And he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hands of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee.
All right, so this is the prophecy I was talking about. Ahijah is a prophet that's prophesying to Jeroboam. Jeroboam is an Ephraimite. So Jeroboam had a garment, nice garment on. So the prophet took it and ripped it in 12 pieces, but he only gave Jeroboam 10 pieces. All right. So it's saying that he said, take these 10 pieces, for thus said the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee. So keep in mind that the Lord already told Solomon that he was going to take the kingdom from him, from his son, and just leave him with one tribe, out of the sake, of David, his faithful servant. All right. So Jeroboam, which is a Ephraimite, now he's being prophesied on being the king of 10 tribes. So just reading down, Solomon found out about this, so Solomon was trying to kill him. All right. So that's why he ended up fleeing to Egypt. All right. So now we're back at verse 12. Chapter 12. Solomon died. So now, he done found out that Solomon died. So the people of, so people was calling for Jeroboam to come back because because Jeroboam, Salakia, no, we about to get to it. Go to verse 3.
Okay. This is the book of Kings, sorry, 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 3. That they sent, that they sent and called him. And Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam.
So now
saying,
Rehoboam, he's the new king right now. So he took Solomon's place. So Jeroboam, he just came back, from Egypt. You know what I'm saying? At this time, Ephraim was a very strong and powerful tribe. All right. Judah is a strong and powerful tribe. Ephraim and Manasseh were strong and powerful tribes. All right. So Jeroboam is from Ephraim. All right. He was one of the military leaders in Solomon's army. All right. So, people pretty much looked up to him. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father, and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee.
All right. So the people are telling Rehoboam that, hey man, your daddy he put a heavy yoke on us, man. Like he done put all these taxes on them, and we gotta pay this, we gotta pay that. Man, if you can lighten that burden for us, man, we gonna serve you forever. Like we got you good. You know what I'm saying? So now, let's jump down to verse 6.
Verse 6. It's the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 6. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old man that stood before Solomon, his father, while he yet lived, and said, how do ye advertise, how do ye advise that I may answer this people?
So he asked his father, he asked King Solomon's advisors, what should he do? Should he listen to the people or what? All right. Just to speed through it, Solomon's advisors, advised him like, yeah, man, go ahead and listen to the people, man, and lighten that burden, lighten that yoke on them. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody that, just think about today, somebody that's running for president or whatever, and they talking about relieving taxes, guess who the people voting for? They voting for the person that's going to lighten their burden. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we gonna cut taxes. We gonna give you more refund. Especially with black and Hispanic, we vote for the person that's gonna give us the stimulus checks on top of the refund that we get. We vote for him. Well, I don't care what. Yeah, you talking about crime and fixing potholes all you want to. I'm talking about the other candidates. Crime. Yeah, we want to end crime, but I need the stimulus check. You talking about giving me a free $1,500? Yeah, I'm voting with you, brother. Because that's lightening my yoke. We worry about crime and potholes on another turn. We can worry about education on another bill. But you talking about tax money, lightening my easing my yoke, lightening my burden. I'm all for that. So the people was like, man, if you would just lighten our burden, man, we gonna follow you. We gonna follow you forever. So Rehoboam, he saw his father's advisors, and they told him, go ahead and listen to him. But just speaking forward, Rehoboam, he asked some more advisors, like he asked his partners, like the people that grew up with him, so they younger. And so the younger people were saying, nah, man, make it. You want your name to shine above your father's, or make that yoke even harder. Dry these people. You know what I'm saying? So when that happened, so he listened to his partner. He didn't listen to his father's people. He listened to his younger people. And so what ended up happening, let me see. Drop down to verse 12. 12 and 12.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 12. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day, as the king had appointed, saying, come to me again the third day. Verse 13. And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old man's counsel that they gave him. Verse 14. And spake to them after the counsel of the young man, saying, my father made your yoke heavy, and will add to your yoke.
Mm-hmm.
My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. Verse 15. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord, that he might perform saying, which the Lord spake by I.S.U.P.K, the Shalamite, unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat.
All right, so Rehoboam, he stiffened the stipulations. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna just speak for the paraphrase. Like the people got upset, they started to rebel. You know, they started to rebel. So long story short, they ended up making Jeroboam their king. Like, hey, Jeroboam, hey, look, you our king. Like we gonna follow you. So now, you know, in summarization, the kingdom has split between the northern kingdom, which is the 10 tribes, and then the southern kingdom, which is the Judites and Benjamites. All right. So with that being said, you know, through history, we have been separated from our brothers since then. So like now in today's time, like we're still separated. All right. Give me Ezekiel. No, hold that. So I want to first I want to give you this article. Pull up that article I gave you.
Okay.
Like this is like pretty much how Latinos, you know, view us, you know, black people. Got it?
Phone's acting stupid. Still acting dumb.
Huh?
It's still acting dumb. The phone is still acting dumb. So.
All right. Well, I'll read it until you get it together.
Oh, kind of.
This article is from Diverse Issues in Higher Education. The title is Scholars Ask Why Latinos View Blacks Poorly. It says Latino immigrants also hold negative views of African Americans, which they most likely brought with them from their more segregated Latin American countries, a Duke University study shows. Now, when it's saying that they brought negative views from their countries, because you know there's colorism or there's racism in these countries also. It's light skin against dark skin in Brazil, in Mexico, in Venezuela, everywhere. There's still like divisions amongst the people in these other countries. So when they come to America, it's pretty much the same thing. They already have a bias that was taught by our oppressors. All right, like even when they view us, when they view black people in America, it's a stereotype that we have that's been shown through movies and music and entertainment that we have a negative or a negative stereotype about us. All right. The study also, I'm gonna keep reading. The study also found that sharing neighborhoods with blacks reinforces Latinos' views and reinforces their feelings that they have more in common with whites. So they saying that we have more in common traits with whites is because, it could be true because why? We suffer from Stockholm syndrome. So we've picked up traits from our oppressors. Like we don't view them as, because of course we don't know that they are brothers. But we've picked up traits to have biases against different nations or other people. You know what I'm saying? We see our Hispanic brothers coming from impoverished, situations, and we think that we're above them. Sometimes we'll say, well, they come down here, like how, like the Edomites did us, or they come and they stealing all the jobs. Well, we think the same way about Hispanics sometimes. Or they come down here, they stealing all the jobs. But in reality, niggas are slacking. Black, we don't want to cut yards no more. We don't want to build freeways. We don't want to dig ditches and do outside work like that no more. In the 70s, 80s, that was our job. Like we built the freeways and dug the sewers out and dig ditches and all that stuff like that. But after a while, Bill Cosby came out with a show called A Different World. So now it's attainable for black people to get a college degree and be upstanding citizens and prestigious adults. So that's the path that we took. So who's gonna cut the yards now? Not us. We think we're too good for it. Who's gonna pick the strawberries? Who's gonna pick the cotton? Not us. We tired of picking cotton. We tired of picking strawberries and apples and stuff. So who's gonna do it? People from an impoverished nation. That don't have the luxury of being oppressed in the United States. So of course, yeah, they'll do it for pennies on the dollar, like even to this day. All right. So I'm gonna keep reading. Huh?
Where'd you left off?
I'm on the third paragraph where it says, we were actually quite impressed. But actually, you can skip down to however, Duke's study.
However, Duke's study found that more educated Hispanics responded and
Reciprocated. Hold on, wait. Oh yeah, responded.
And the more social contact they had with blacks, the less likely they were to harbor negative stereotypes.
So the more social contact they had with us, the less negative thoughts that they, remarks that they had about us, because why? They lived around, like we experienced the same things. Like they started slowly figuring out, like, hey man, these people ain't so bad like how we see on the videos and the TV. Like we're viewed as like bad people. Like all we are is gangbangers, drug dealers, drug users, and prostitutes. Just like the movie They cloned Tyrone. And if you ever seen that movie, like every characteristic that this society view a black person as is in that movie. It was a gangbanger, a drug dealer, a pimp, a whore, and a Christian pastor. You know, it wasn't no doctors, no lawyers, police officers, none of that. It was those 5 things, and that's what America views us as. So when they portray us to other people, that's what we look. That's what we seem like. That's like when you talk to somebody from another country, they think that everything in America looks like New York. Like everything, the greatest city in America, all these lights and all, all this flash and stuff, everything I want to go to New York because that's what America portrays as being, what I'm saying, I guess the greatest, greatest country in the world, what I'm saying? Everything is like New York, everything is all glorious. And if you ever seen New York in the daytime without them lights on, you'll have a totally different understanding. And then vice versa, like how they show, even though they Hamites, how they show pictures of Africa. Every time they show an image of African, it's somewhere in the desert somewhere or in the safari somewhere with flies flying around them. They got big stomachs and crust all around their mouth and stuff. That's how America portrays Africa. That's why so many people trying to go and put money into Africa to save Africa. Or 33 cents a day, you can save a child. They not doing nothing but pocketing that money. Because they've been doing that since the 70s. That means since the 70s, if 10 people was paying 30 cents a day since the 70s, the entire country should be fed by now. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the imagery, the image that our oppressors put on us to make people have a different view on us. So that's why in this study they were saying like once those people lived around us, like they had a different outlook. It's like now, like you can have a Hispanic, a Mexican, El Salvadoran best friend. Like we get along fine, but it's society's devices that separate us. Like you can have a best friend that's Hispanic from the age of 5 all the way to 18. Y'all been best friends. Y'all done ate at each other's house and all type of things. You know his mother Maria, and you know his grandmother Guadalupe. Yeah, he know your daddy Joe. He know your grandma Bessie. You know what I'm saying? But then if y'all ended up going to jail together, y'all no longer best friends. Why? Because he got to go with the Hispanics, and you got to go with the blacks. Y'all can no longer associate with each other. Why? Because that's one of the things that our enemies place against us. Segregation amongst the nation. Once I finish this, I'm gonna read out of a book that proves that too. You know what I'm saying? Because we not. Blacks and Hispanics are not beefing off of natural events. Like this was implanted. Like this was a strategy, a tactic by our oppressors, man. Keep reading.
It was interesting that the greater social contact with blacks, the less they had negative stereotypes, says Rob Byrne.
Keep going.
Assistant Dean of Students for Emory College. I think that's pivotal variable, especially for Latino immigrants who are learning English and who have not had much contact with blacks, who are unfortunately influenced by America's leans.
Right. So like I just said, what is it? Like, yeah, keep reading that. My bad.
And vocabulary of race and what white Americans has constructed in terms of stereotypes of facts.
Right. So it says, who are unfortunately influenced by the American lens and vocabulary of race and what white America has constructed in terms of stereotypes of blacks. You know what I'm saying? So the stereotype of African Americans viewed by Latinos that come to this country is constructed by our enemies. So when our brothers and sisters come back over here, they already have this certain like, nah, don't trust them, don't trust them black people because they can't be trusted. You know, I mean, we probably gave him a reason back then, you know, when Jeroboam was out there, you know, trying to increase the tax and increase the yoke on his brothers. You know what I'm saying? But like this is an ongoing thing. All right. Drop down to actually we can be done with this. Hold on. All right, go among the results.
Among the results, almost 59% of Latino immigrants reported feeling that few or almost no blacks are hard working. 1/3 said that blacks hard to get along with. It's like you're hard to get along with. And 57% found that few or no blacks could be trusted. When whites were asked the same question, fewer than 10%.
Hold on, wait, okay. Let's go back to it. Says 59% of Latino immigrants reported feeling that few or almost no blacks are hardworking. Where do you think they got that from? They got it from our oppressors. They got it. We not hardworking. Like we've been in fields since grass been growing.
Okay.
And you talking about we not hardworking. Then it says it says 1/3 said that blacks are hard to get along with. Where they get that from?
Our oppressor.
Our oppressor. Because you can see in the studies above when they say once they had some consistent social contact with us, we the same people, we got along. Just think about where Hispanics move to now. Like when they come to America or when they get established, whatever, they go to black neighborhoods. They don't go to white neighborhoods. They go to black neighborhoods and they live just fine. You know what I'm saying? Black people just got to get used to, you know, a chicken or two running around. You know what I'm saying? You know, they put up them big wooden fences, but at the end of the day, it's cool. And then they say, and 57% found that few or no blacks could be trusted. Where they get that from?
The oppressor.
The oppressor. Okay, go ahead.
When whites were asked the same questions, fewer than 10% responded with similar negative attitudes towards blacks.
Now it says 10% responded with similar negative attitudes towards blacks. Why do you think that?
They're the oppressor.
The same reason why they're trying to get rid of critical race theory, because they want to seem like they're the angels, they're the good guys out of the bunch. They don't want to teach their children how nasty and repulsive they were, you know, back then. They don't want to show how grandpa that same tree you got a swing on the back of, that same tree your granddaddy or great granddaddy was hanging black people on. They don't want them to know that. And then two, you don't stay near us. You try to move far away from black people as possible. So of course, you might not have any initial negative responses to us because you're not around us. Only thing you're taught is that we can't be trusted, we're not hardworking, and we're gonna steal your car, or we're gonna steal your purse. Just think about it. If you stand in an elevator with a white woman, she's gonna clutch her purse. You can dress like them. You can have a business suit on. You can have cologne. You got some gator shoes, some Italian leather shoes on, with some Ray-Ban glasses on or whatever, and she's still gonna look at you sideways, thinking you're gonna rob her. But she's gonna deny it to the teeth. And they think that about every black person. I remember when I used to catch the bus to school, like me and my cousin, we waited at the bus stop. The bus stop was at a corner, like at a red light. So every time, a person pulled up to the red light, she'll kind of glance, and all you hear is shh, like she's locking her car doors, and she's making sure they're locked. And we waiting on the school bus to go to school. We're not worried about robbing. We trying to go to school. Like every car that had an oppressor in it, they would do the same thing. Or if you just pull up at the gas station with them and watch they hit that alarm board like 6 times before they walk inside the store, because they all think the same thing. But that's why it says less than 10% of them have negative thoughts, because they're trying to get rid of critical race theory. They don't want to talk about how bad they were or are. All right. Let's see. No, I guess we can drop that. But it's a lot more on this article. But now I want to pull up that book that I sent you. It's just 2 paragraphs. Read the title of the book and the author, then read the highlighted part. Like this book is called The Black Indians, A Hidden Heritage. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Black Indians, A Hidden Heritage by William Loren Katz. To prevent.
Yeah, read the highlighted part.
To prevent Africans and Native Americans from uniting, Europeans played skillfully on racial differences and ethnic rivalries.
Read that again.
On racial differences.
No, read the whole thing again.
To prevent Africans and Native Americans from uniting.
To prevent Africans and Native Americans from uniting. Africans. That's the Israelites that came from Africa. That's it's not talking about actual Africans like Nigerians and stuff like that. They're talking about the people that came over from the transatlantic slave trade. All right. So to keep us from uniting, go ahead.
Europeans played skillfully on racial differences and ethnic rivalries.
They played what?
Skillfully. It's
another scripture that we always read during Sabbath service and any other time. Psalms 83. They have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted together against our hidden ones. So they played skillfully of racial differences and ethnic rivalries. So that goes back to, if you ever heard of the Willie Lynch letters, You know, the Willie Lynch letters were a strategic war tactic against our people. And what he did was he taught white slave owners how to subdue us and to skillfully play on racial differences and ethnic rivalries. So that's where you get the light skin versus dark skin from. That's where you get the good hair versus bad hair thing from. All right, keep going.
They kept the plot of animosity boiling. Whites turned Indians into slave hunters and slave owners.
So they kept this animosity going. You know, it wasn't enough separating, you know, light skin versus dark skin, you know, little things like that. Now, you know, they done made Indians into slave hunters. All right, so that's one of them treaties that they made with the Indians that they broke. All right, they done turned Indians into slave hunters and slave owners. All right, go ahead.
And Africans into Indian fighters.
And Africans into Indian fighters. So when they break them treaties, guess who they had with them to come fight against the Indians? Black people. Same thing. So that's continuing the so-called beef between blacks and Hispanics. Like they played us against each other. All right, keep going.
Light-skinned Africans were pitted against dark-skinned, free against enslaved.
Right.
Black.
So light skin against dark skin. You know, they gave light skinned slaves more favor. You know, they get to come inside the house. You know, they get to they might get a piece of the chicken leg that the master don't want no more. While you know the dark skinned people, you know, they ate the guts. Hence, when you know why we like to eat chitlins and stuff like that. You know, dark skin. That's why they call it. You know, house nigga and field nigga. Like that's one of the things that pitted us against each other. Just like if you ever seen the movie Django, that boy Steven was what they considered a house dude, a house N-word. And that is in our society, that is the lowest position. Like he's high position according to our oppressor. You know, he's trusted, you know, he gets to do this, he get to boss around the other slaves. But that is the lowest position, you know what I'm saying, in our nation. For you to be confederate with our enemies, you know what I'm saying, and then in exchange for a little favor or something like that. That's what they call an Uncle Tom. Like nobody likes an Uncle Tom.
Sellout.
A sellout. So that's why it's lucky. That was another devices they created. They created hate amongst each other, amongst us. All right. Oh, like even with the women, you know what I'm saying? Like dark-skinned women were losing for a long time. Like nobody, it was a society thing that dark-skinned women, they didn't get no roles in movies. Like they were considered not beautiful. They got the low end of the stick on a lot of things. Versus the light-skinned women, they got all the roles in the movies. You know, and even if a dark-skinned woman did get a role in the movie, she didn't get a leading role. You know, that's all the devices of our oppressors, man. Keep going.
Black Indians against pure Indians. It's like it. Black Indians against pure Africans or pure Indians.
Right. So now you got Africans against Indians. So you got the Reubenites against the Issacharites. Indian tribe against Indian. You got the Creek against the Blackfoots. You got the so-called slaves against all of them. All right. Drop down to that next highlighted part.
Okay. In 1984, scholar Theda Purdue said, by emphasizing the actual, exaggerated, and imagined differences between Africans and Indians, whites successfully masked the cultural similarities of the two races, as well as their actual exploitation by whites.
Right. So what they did was they pointed out differences to put us against each other, not knowing that we are all the same people. When the transatlantic slaves, we were all speaking a form of Hebrew like they did. But to keep us separated, they had to point out a little different. Yeah, well, theirs are not big as yours. So y'all are totally different people. Their chin stick out. Look at their cheekbones and all type of stuff. So now when we look at them, we like, yeah, we are different. All right. So they emphasize the actual difference, and they exaggerated on some of these differences too. You know what I'm saying? To successfully mask the cultural similarities of the two races, as well as their mutual exploitations by white. So they did this, to mask, the actual, we are the same people. That's why you have blacks against Mexicans. That's why you have black gangs and Hispanic gangs, to the point to where, like, of course you got black gang against black gangs, Hispanic gangs against Hispanic gangs, but now you have Hispanic versus black gangs. You know what I'm saying? Like the Mexican mafia versus the black what they call black mafia family or something like that. Mexican in prison. Like, these are things that pit against, are pitted against each other. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you got the Aryan nation that's in prison too, and they playing with both of them. All right. So give me Ezekiel chapter 37 and start at verse 16.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick.
All right, so that one stick is going to be for Judah and his companions. All right, his companions are still tribes of Israel. All right, go ahead.
And write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions.
All right, go to 17.
Verse 17. And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand.
So these two sticks are going to do what?
Become one in thine hand.
So these two sticks are all 12 tribes of Israel. So that means the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom must come back together to do what? To have the kingdom of heaven again. For Israel to be one nation again. But that's not going to happen until we settle our differences, until we start following the Most High again as a nation. You know what I'm saying? John chapter 11:49. I'll pretty much say the same thing.
This is the book of John, chapter 11, verse 49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same
He was
year.
what?
The high priest.
The high priest. Go ahead.
That same year said unto them, ye know nothing at all.
What is he saying? Y'all know what y'all talking about. All right, keep going.
Verse 50. Nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not.
Right. So what he's saying is it's better for Christ to die for us than us dying all together. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 50. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus, prophesied that Jesus should die for the nation.
Die for just for what nation?
Israel.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 52. And not for the nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
All right, so he's saying, and not for that nation only, but also that also he should gather together in one, you know what I'm saying, those two sticks, the children of God. Who are considered the children of God? Everybody? Who are the children of God then?
Israel, children of Israel.
Israel, which is the 12 tribes. All right, that were scattered abroad. We are scattered everywhere. You know, we in America, you know, North, South, and Central. We in Europe. It's a couple of us in Africa. We everywhere. We scattered abroad. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is not, Christ is not coming back. He's not here to save anybody else but us. All right. So we have a job to do to get back together as a nation, and it's going to start with Judah and Ephraim. You know, Judah is the main tribe or the dominant tribe on the southern kingdom, and Ephraim is the dominant tribe of the northern kingdom. All right.
Okay.
We can drop that and give me James 1:1.
This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes.
To the who?
The 12 tribes, which were scattered abroad. Greeting.
So when it says the 12 tribes that were scattered abroad, that don't mean everybody in Great Britain, everybody in China, everybody in Australia, everybody in Africa, everybody in America, everybody in Canada. That means the 12 tribes, those 12 tribes that's listed in this, on these banners up here and in this Bible. So if you're not a part of those 12 tribes that are scattered abroad, he ain't talking to you. All right. Drop that and give me give me Revelations 7 and 9. You know what I'm saying? You know, the kingdom of heaven is not going to be a kingdom unless our tribes are back together. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be on earth as it is in heaven. All right. Revelation 7 and 9.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 7, verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, and kindreds, and people, and
All right,
tongues.
slacking. Yeah, keep going. We'll go back to it.
Stood before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands.
All right, now it says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, all of all nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues. Now, when a Christian reads this, they're going to close the book. It says, look, it says, all nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues. But we just read James and John, or in James 1 and 1, to the people that are scattered abroad. And when you scattered abroad, that means that you're going to take on the culture and the language and some of the customs of those nations that you're in. So of course, if you in China, you're gonna speak whatever they speak, Mandarin or whatever they speak. If you in Brazil or if you in Spain, yeah, of course you're gonna speak Spanish. If you're in America, of course you're gonna speak English. If you're in France, of course you're gonna speak French. So when it's talking about all nations, I mean all 12 tribes. So, okay. And all kindreds, and all people, and all tongues. When it says all tongues, and tongues, that means all those different languages. Of course, because you don't know Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? It was a time, you know what I'm saying, in the Apocrypha that it was unlawful for us to even profess yourself as a Jew. You know, of course, I'm about to show you how the Apocrypha ties in with the rest of the Bible. So it was unlawful for you to even to profess yourself as a Jew. So of course, you done took on another tongue and another culture. And so you call yourself Canadian, or you call yourself Jamaican, or you call yourself Chinese, or whatever. Of course you're gonna call yourself African American. Because when we was in slavery then, like it was against the law for you to even say you was an Israelite. Yeah, you couldn't celebrate the Sabbath, not in public. You couldn't acknowledge the Sabbath. You was gonna get killed or unalive, Salaki. All right. When it says, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. All right. So it stood before the throne and before the Lamb. Who is the Lamb? Yahushua, Christ is the Lamb. All right. And clothed in white robes. Now, who do you think was clothed in white robes?
The priests.
La.
Oh, that's the Pharisees.
No, la. Matter of fact, let's go and get to it now.
Okay.
Give me 2nd Esdras, chapter 2. We're gonna start at verse 38. whole Revelation though. Whole Revelation chapter 7 though. We're gonna bounce back and forth.
It's at 38 verse 2.
Second Ezra chapter 2, verse 38.
This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 38. The children of Pashur, 1,247.
Hold on, you Second Esdras.
Oh, it's lucky. I'm in Ezra.
That's what I said. The Apocrypha.
Okay. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 48,
38.
38. Book of Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 38. In the Apocrypha, arise up and stand, behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord.
All right, it says, arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord. So that word sealed. So hold that right there. And we're gonna go to go back to Revelation chapter 7.
This is the book of Revelation.
And verse 4.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed.
And said, okay, now that's that word. That's in Revelation. So now we're tying this apocrypha that's been taken out by the Roman Catholic Church, by Constantine. You know what I'm saying? So like it wasn't Constantine, but the Roman Catholic Church. You know what I'm saying? That correlates with the scriptures in the King James. You know what I'm saying? And I heard the number of them which were sealed. Go ahead.
And there were sealed 144,000 of the tribes of the children of Israel.
The tribes of who?
Of the children of Israel.
All right. Now, matter of fact, read verse 3 too.
Come. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 3. Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God.
I said, till we have what?
Sealed the servants of our God.
All right. And it says, so yeah, don't do nothing. Don't hold up. Wait till we see. Wait till we seal these servants. All right. Now go back to Second Ezra. Keep reading.
So Second Ezra chapter
2,
verse
39.
39. This is the book of Second Ezra chapter 2, verse 39. Which were departed from the shadow of the world.
What does that mean?
They came out the world.
Which are departed from the shadow of the world. What does that mean?
You're not in the world no more.
What does not in the world no more mean?
You're practicing your custom now, Israelite.
You done repented from your sin and you started following the Most High.
Okay.
All right. And have received and what?
And have received glorious garments of the Lord.
All right, now where we was at, at 7 and 9, when it says clothed with white robes, you know what I'm saying? Keep going in verse 40.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 40 in the Apocrypha. Take thy number, O Sion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord.
It says, take thy number. That number is what?
144.
144,000. All right. So it's going to be 144,000 people that are going to be sealed, that's going to run things. And they're only coming from what? Those two sticks.
Okay.
Those two sticks derive of what? 12 tribes.
Okay.
So it means it's going to be 12,000 from each tribe, correct? All right. Keep going.
Verse 44, verse 41. The number of thy children, whom thou longest for, is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed.
Right. So the people from the beginning that the Lord chose from the beginning is the only people that he's preparing for. All right. Keep going.
Verse 42. I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Sion a great people, whom I could not number.
All right. Hold on. Now we're going to go to back to Revelation. Read that again. We're in 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse what?
Chapter 2, verse 42.
Uh-huh.
I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Sion a great people, whom I could not number.
All right. Mount Sion is what?
Mount Sion, that's what
Mount Sion was the mountain that Moses went and talked to the Lord. So when he was talking to the Lord, what people was down at the bottom of that mountain?
We were
The Israelites. All right.
Okay.
So this is in the Apocrypha that we read, that he just read. Now we're going back to Revelation chapter 7 and read verse 9 again.
Okay. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 9. After this, I behold, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations.
So these things are pretty much saying the same thing. Like a multitude of people that he could not number. All right, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues. All right. Now go to 43 in 2nd Ezra.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 43 in the Apocrypha. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest. And upon every one of their heads, he set crowns.
He did what?
He set crowns.
Crowns. Okay.
Continue, sir.
Yeah.
And was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly.
Right. So it says, and in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So who was that? Who was that young man?
Solomon.
That's who?
Hold on, that was YAHANNA.
That's Christ.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Let me see. All right, go ahead. Oh no, it says back to Revelation. I'm trying to find another part. Okay, keep going. It's lucky. All right, those crowns that Christ put on our heads, you know what I'm saying? Those are the crowns of righteousness, man. Those, you know what I'm saying? Like this is when the world will be back to standard. This is when the kingdom of heaven and all the, and all the 12 tribes of Israel will be back united, back reigning. You know what I'm saying? When this happens. All right. This is when you're gonna find out that this is when a Mexican person, a so-called Mexican man, is gonna be ruling Africa. This is when a so-called African American man is gonna be ruling China. This is when a so-called Puerto Rican is gonna be ruling Canada. You know what I'm saying? When we get those crowns, like everything is gonna change. We're gonna be the ruling nation. It won't be no such thing as light skin, dark skin, or big nose, little nose, wide neck, skinny neck, none of that. And then the other nations that the Lord counted spittle, they're gonna be under us. You know what I'm saying? Give me the hold both of those. So put because I want to bring out this precept right quick. Proverbs 29:2. Keep your finger, keep your spot on all those, and then give me Proverbs 29:2.
Okay.
So we're gonna get those crowns put on our head, you know what I'm saying? Those that that keep the law, statutes, commandments, and endure to the end, that's when you're gonna receive that crown. You know what I'm saying? Not just because how the Christian church say, all you gotta do is believe, or throw your hands up in the air or hug yourself and do this here and cry. That's not gonna get you there. That crown is gonna come through work. You know what I'm saying? It says to observe and to do them. Yeah, you can know that there's a law. I know it's a dietary law. I know it's this, but you gotta do them. You know what I'm saying? And you must endure to the end. All right, read that for me.
Okay. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
So when we get those crowns on our head, it's gonna be rejoice. Because the righteous are back into rulership. Right now, man, we are mourning. People being unalived, innocent people being unalived. There's so much whoredom going on in the streets, in society. But when the righteous are in rulership, what?
The people rejoice.
Even the heathen's gonna be happy. Even though they're gonna be, in slavery, or they're gonna be servants, they're gonna be happy. They're gonna rejoice. Man, I'm glad the Israelites back in line, back in rulership. Like they're gonna be rejoicing. Keep reading.
But when the wicked bear rule, it's like it. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
So when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. We in mourning right now.
Okay.
You don't know if the police gonna unalive if they pull you over. You don't know what's gonna happen. But when we in rulership, like the animals are gonna rejoice. The trees, like the scriptures say, ask the trees, you know, of our oppressor, and they're gonna let you know who the devil is. I just paraphrased that. All right. Go back to Second Esdras.
This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 44. In the SKYPE. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 2, verse 44 in the Apocrypha. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? Verse 45. He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of God. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
All right. So now he's like, man, hey, who these people that got all this white on them? Like, who these people here? So the angel answered him like, yeah, these are people that repented from their sins and started following the truth.
Okay.
They endured to the end. Now they're gonna receive their crown and receive palms. Palms is like a sign of victory, or like a diploma or something like, yeah, you completed this. That's what you're gonna receive if you endure to the end. Once we come back as a nation, once we put off all these negative stereotypes of each other that was placed on us by our oppressor, our enemies. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read the same thing in the Bible, just to let you know that this apocrypha is in line with the Bible. All right. Go to Revelation 7 and go to verse 13, 7 and 13.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 13. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes?
Same thing we just read in the Apocrypha, Second Esdras. Same thing. Man, who are these people in white? Go ahead.
And whence came they?
Keep going.
Verse 14. And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes.
It's like they came out of great tribulation. They came out this great tribulation of sin and temptation and overcame it. You know what I'm saying? They beat the game. They endured to the end. You know, a lot of Christians say, oh, yeah, I'm saved. You know, no, you're not. Because you can just cut them with that one scripture. He who endures to the end, the same shall be saved. The end ain't here yet. So you still got a couple more boards to go. You know what I'm saying? You got a couple more levels to go before you beat this game. You know what I'm saying? Like just how Taziah one was saying, like, I don't just want to do just enough to get in the kingdom of heaven. Like I want to run some stuff. Like I want to be one of them people. Like I want to be a shot caller. Like I want to sign a millionaire's check. I want to pay a millionaire. I want to pay a couple millionaires, which means I'll be a billionaire or a trillionaire, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I want to be one of them. So that's why I'm gonna do my best to endure to the end. So I get one of these white robes and one of these crowns. That's the whole objective of the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I'm saying? To be righteous and to follow the Most High in the right way, man. Keep going.
And made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Hold on, Salakia. And he washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb.
They washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. All right. So same thing that we read in the Apocrypha. It's the same thing we read in the King James in Revelation. Let me see. Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, that's the only way that we're gonna get back to righteousness and getting our crowns, man. That these two sticks come back together. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be wise of these strategies and these crafty counsels that our enemies have put in place for us to you know what I'm saying, to get rid of that envy and that strife and that beef we have with each other, man. Because like I say, you know, this kingdom is not gonna come until, you know, these two sticks come back together as one. You know what I'm saying? Like even back in right after Solomon, you know what I'm saying? Like of course one of the other differences that we have is, you know, like belief systems. Of course, you know what I'm saying, like the Southern Kingdom, we disobeyed the Most High to an extent, but the Northern Kingdom did it a lot. But the funny thing about it, you know what I'm saying, like you know, Jeroboam, you know what I'm saying, the reason why his kingdom failed is because he allowed idolatry. He allowed those 10 nations to serve whatever God that they wanted to. So that's why you have a lot of and it all boils down to Christianity, because even though the kingdom split, we were conquered by English and Spanish Christians. You know what I'm saying? So, and which means we worship the same God. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah. You know, Hispanics, you know, they into Santa Muerte, you know, the Virgin Mary, you know, blacks, Hispanic, you know, and blacks, you know, we in the white Jesus. Right? That's the same thing. Just different parts of the globe. So we were conquered by Christianity by these heathen nations, man. And they just implanted differences and strife amongst the nations, man. That's all they did. But we can get over that and just follow the law, statutes, commandments, man, and recognize these things and get over them, man. With that, I'm gonna end it right there. Pay your tithes to the men of the Lord at ISUPK.com. We do have a feast day coming up, which is the Feast of Dedication. You know, it's going to be held in all the schools in every city and in any zone. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in the Houston area and if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you definitely come to 7701 Belford, and you can learn about this great day. This is not a Sabbath rain day, but it will hold class about learning about the Feast of Dedication and what it entails. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have some great food. You know what I'm saying? Some great brotherhood and sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? So whatever city you're close to, you know, call that city's number and let them know and ask them for the times, and you're welcome to come. You know what I'm saying? With that, I'm gonna pass the class over to also Commander Junior Hunter, you know, he will be helping the immigrants that have fled to New York. So we're gonna Commander Junior Hunter is gonna have a food or clothing drive for these brothers and sisters that migrated to New York, man. That's gonna be held on December 9th. So, I mean, you're welcome to donate at I.S.U.P.K.com, or if you want to come put boots on the ground, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That is going to be a glorious event. And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Officer Yakubai with the security announcements.
Is it right, sir? Okay. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. Permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. The book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, 8 through 10, which means 10 in the Hebrew, ma'asharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, non-mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Feast of Dedication, HaKanukah, 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days. Thursday, December 7th, 2023, for 8 days. The book of First Maccabees in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 52 through 61. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and a scarf. And these are security announcements.
All right, with that, mind you, we need to stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Majim Shabbat, Majim, Barak,
Yahweh,
Got the Matai, Saul, Sister Stan. Men of Israel, Majim Shabbat, Majim, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Adab Shib Yahshua. Yaki Matai, dismiss.